So have you ever felt like a failure at life? Maybe you've gone online or you've been scrolling through social media and seeing somebody significantly younger than you achieve so much more than you probably ever will in your entire lifetime. They have everything you ever wanted. They make more money in a month than you do in a year at your crappy job. They have respect and power. They live your dream lifestyle. They drive your dream car. They are doing deals with brands that you can't even afford with a full month's salary.
At the age of 6 years old, I became named one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the US.
At the beginning, you feel quite a lot of admiration for them because it's inspiring to see what's possible. So you start following them and then getting your regular boost of motivation, and you work harder and harder so that you'll be able to reach those goals too one day. But after a while, you start noticing that the results just aren't showing up. So you start working harder. That's got to work, right? Maybe there are some small moments where you see a little bit of result, but it starts to feel like it's not worth it because you begin to feel exhausted. The amount of work and effort that you're putting in is just not delivering up the results that you expected to see with that amount of effort. You start to realize that you're basically comparing your achievements to theirs, and the gap is so significant, you start to have feelings of jealousy, frustrated or saddened, and then you start feeling like you've really been left behind in life or that you're a complete failure. There's no breaking this gently because if you have this mindset right now, you are very likely to fail. I'm going to explain why in this video and also what we can do to go about changing this mindset. This is probably going to be the most important video I've uploaded to this channel, so I encourage you to watch to the end. Society puts a lot of pressure on us to be successful. When we're young, there's pressure to know what we want to do with our life. We have to know what we want to choose in our career, what connections to make, what kind of people, friends, or dating partners are good to be around, whether we should stay in our home city or move state or move country, whether we should have eaten that second taco. And if you're older, you also get the pressure. You should have figured it out by now. Well, that's your fault because you should have known better at your age. Like, life gives you a freaking manual when you're born. You shouldn't be asking questions at X stage in your life. But life is not theory, it's a lived experience. You won't know if something's right for you until you actually try it. You won't know whether that career path is good for you until you pursue it. You won't know whether that relationship was good for you until you walk away from a complete disaster of one saying, what the heck was that about? In all cases, you pay the price with time. It's completely normal for us to not know what to do next. Everybody has moments in their life where they feel lost, unsuccessful, or left behind. So with this constant pressure to be successful, it's important to ask, well, what is success? Success is the achieving of the results wanted or hoped for. If we look to the popular markers of success in general society, it's going to be the obvious, like having lots of money, respect, power, and being happy. However, when we start comparing ourselves to others when it comes to success, we tend to overlook two things. Firstly, unfair advantages, and secondly, the iceberg truth. Regarding unfair advantages, the first question to wrap your head around is, do you believe life is fair? You can pause the video if you like and leave a comment. My answer is, life is not fair. Life is unfair as fire truck.
I'm Evan, the co-founder and CEO of Snap.
Born to wealth, lived in a mansion, parents were successful, mentor was the co-founder of YouTube, had the best education, had the networking and connections from the outset, was healthy and not immediately facing obstacles from the get-go. After hearing all of his advantages, you might be thinking, well, of course he's going to be successful. I didn't have any of those things. What's the point? Yes and no. Part of us is so fantastic at being critical. Of course you'll never be like Evan or anybody else. He is a one-off individual with situations that are unique to him, as are you. Did you know that we are all one-off creations in this universe? Even identical twins. Mind blown. So how can we be successful in this unfair world? I used to believe that hard work was the only way to achieve success. Wow. Did life teach me that was painfully not true. We've been sold the fallacy that we can all become entrepreneurial billionaires on the cover of Forbes if only we wake up at 4 a.m., hustle harder, and grind ourselves into the dirt every single day. You just don't want it badly enough. Success is not simply awarded to the hardest workers. It is awarded to those who develop and use their unfair advantages. I'm not referring to unethical or illegal behavior. I'm talking about the natural, competitive upper hand that each of us has been given in different ways. A very simple example is height. If you're going to be a basketball player and you happen to be tall, you have a significant advantage. It doesn't mean that shorter players can't be successful, but it's just a natural, unfair advantage. Same with being pretty. If you're going to go down the social media influencer track, if you are pretty or good looking, you have a significant unfair advantage. It makes it more likely that you're going to succeed. If you haven't lucked out with the looks department, it's not all doom, and you can still be successful. Even on YouTube, you can use other things like have a sense of humor on your videos. We just need to figure out what our advantages are and work the system instead. A fantastic guide to understanding what your unfair advantages are in a book called, have a guess, wait for it, Unfair Advantage. I recommend you add this book to the list of books that you haven't got around to reading to. But this is a good one because there's a solid chance that it'll change your perspective like it did mine. Sometimes it's just a little light bulb moment that actually affects the way you think for the rest of your life. Let's have a look at the MILES framework, M-I-L-E-S. You may figure out you actually have one or more of these. M stands for money. That means your ability to access funding or capital that you can easily raise. I is intelligence and insight. That includes being good at learning, being book smart and street smart, having social and emotional intelligence, and includes an ability to be creative. L is location and luck. A lot of advantages come under luck, including being naturally good looking, being at the right place at the right time.
A big part of the success was right time, right place, born at a certain time, not privileged, but food on the table, shoes on my feet, and 2 parents, and they were supportive. All good things.
And location is important. Being born in a particular country has its own unique opportunities. E is education and expertise, both our formal education and our ongoing life education. It gives us know-how. And then S is for status. That's your social status, which includes your network. You are your own personal brand, and how you're perceived is your social status. This is where the inner work also comes into play, where you build your own confidence and self-esteem. The MILES framework is a decent starting point. You might actually think of a whole pile more ideas and other opportunities and unique things that give you an advantage in your life. The iceberg fantasy. So the other thing I've learned is how easy it is to only see the end result. The final image, the tip of the iceberg, the only thing that's showing. Who's posting fail videos? I mean, apart from the comedy ones where people fall off things and we laugh at them because it's Schadenfreude. If all we see and most of what is shown to us is the success of somebody, the final result, and we're not shown all of the painful, excruciating, time-consuming steps along the way, then we can really form an incorrect view of what success is. The lower and the biggest part underneath, that's a great hand gesture I'm going to regret doing on social media. The part that we don't see is all the stuff that goes on underneath. The stages of growth, the learning, the failing a lot, the need to walk away from things that you never thought that you'd have to. I'll give you some examples from my own life of where I failed a lot in trying to earn money in ways that lit me up. All of them failed for different reasons. I'm still on the path to figuring it out, but it's a heck of a lot better than where I started. So firstly, my career as a barrister in my 20s, I started prosecuting criminals in the courtroom at 19. I finished my law degree while I was working full time, and only to realize in my mid to late 20s, after spending over a decade in the law, that was a terrible career for me. I was more of a very positive, creative soul. If you want to watch the video on why I quit being a lawyer, I'll pop that link in. But I learned so much. Firstly, it highlighted a value I didn't even realize I had. I learned I didn't like not being able to scale myself, that if I stopped working, I stopped earning money. It also confirmed the strengths I thought I had as a teenager, which were being analytical, logical, rational, persuasive in verbal and written communication skills, and that career solidified and helped improve those skills. Then I became a film and TV actor. This is where the learning curve got really steep. Wow, what did I learn? Firstly, that it was way harder to become an actor than it was to become a lawyer. I go into some of my acting story times in another video, which I created if you want to be entertained, have a laugh, or have a cry, depending on what your dreams are. I also learned that it's not the most professional, the hardest, or the best worker that gets the job. It's what the market wants. Whether you booked a job was really down to somebody's opinion. But I learned an incredible amount of skills. I learned how to audition, how to film myself, how to edit my videos, how to not be embarrassed in front of the camera, how to be willing to look like a fool, which is pretty much how I feel every time I shoot a video. How to just be a goofball. I learned to just get over myself, to stop worrying about looking perfect, and that one of the best skills you can have in life is the ability to laugh at yourself. I set up a Shopify store once. That was a fail. I learned that customers rage out very quickly if, for example, things that are outside your control, like it rains, the weather, and so postage is delayed. Somehow that is your fault. Customers demand on-call 24-hour service so that they can ask you questions that don't relate to the product that you're selling at all. So I realized this is not for me. Interestingly, my acting career spawned my video game voice acting career because I've played games for over 20 years and now I voice for video games and for game trailers. And what I found was that was an area that was very successful financially for me, but also just as a creative outlet. So things spring from weird places that are unexpected, and just being open to life turning out how you didn't plan is a good thing. I've created a course. I'll pop a link if you're interested in following that career because it actually is a very good one. At one stage, I set up a coaching business so I could actually teach people and host workshops for people all around the world to come and learn how to voice video games. But I soon realized with that business model, it wasn't working because, truth be told, I'm probably going to express it in a way that doesn't sound kind, but it's not that I'm unkind. It's more that I'm just trying to express it in a practical way. But you make money by selling things to people who have money. And if you're in the creative arts, a lot of people either don't have money or they're not willing to put out money to invest in their own learning. So it's a very unstable, financially, business-wise, industry. But all of those failed ventures taught me so many skills that I've brought forward when I started this YouTube channel in 2022. So in reality, it's 20 plus years of skill gathering in order to start a channel. For then some people to come along, look at my channel, see, oh, she's got over 1,000 subscribers. She must be raking it in or doing nudes. No and no to both of those. This is again the tip, and I'm actually now thinking of doing a video on the monetization of the YouTube channel. Let me know if that would be helpful, and I will be very truthful about the process. I didn't reach 1,000 subscribers overnight. I didn't even reach it after 1 year of posting a video every single week for a year. I saw other people's YouTube channels hitting over 300,000 subscribers in 10 months, and I was thinking, WTF, maybe I should move to America and become 19 again because that's apparently what's working. Wind it back a bit. Looking at reality. Some average stats. The average channel takes 152 videos to reach at least 1,000 subscribers. It takes 1,171 videos to hit at least 100,000 subscribers. Why do I see so many channels with only 50 videos that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers? Are they doing something illegal? Are they using clickbait titles in those cover thumbnails? I don't know. What? Of course, they may be using their unfair advantages already, but here's the kicker. We don't know how many times they have made hundreds of videos that have failed, that they had started 5 other YouTube channels that they have since deleted because they didn't work out. How many years they had previously worked at a job in marketing, so they brought across that experience and that knowledge when they went to start a YouTube channel. That it actually took them 8 years before they finally found success on YouTube. They waded through the online trolls, the negative comments, the little snide remarks, that they spent over $11,000 on courses and learning throughout that entire time to learn social media on YouTube and the back-end statistics, analyzing every single video of the top performing YouTubers. We don't know all of the stuff that goes on underneath. Easily to only see that top little bit, to only see the win, and then to compare your crappy journey to their final result. Maybe in your current life, you're only seeing the tip of other people's icebergs without knowing the huge underneath of all of the struggles. Or maybe now you start letting yourself off the hook and realizing, hey, there are some unfair advantages that I actually have. And all of this process is normal. The figuring it out is difficult and crunchy and messy, but everyone's going through that. But I hope that your mind is now on a slightly different track to start absorbing that information, to start to understand and appreciate yourself and what makes you unique, and thinking of ways that you can maximize your own opportunities by starting this process. The last message I wanted to leave with you was to not give up, and today is the perfect place to begin.